Whose lightsaber is this? I've asked almost 10,000 people this question, and you know what I've learned? Everyone has a different answer, and for different reasons. Is this Rey's lightsaber because she's the one who currently has it in canon? Or is it Anakin's because he's the one who constructed it? There are lots of ways of looking at this, but in this video, we are going to answer this question using the only unbiased source of truth available to us, the law. Okay, so earlier this week, I was on Instagram and I saw a post from StarWars General that pointed out a very controversial topic. Prequel fans think this is Anakin's lightsaber, OT fans think it's Luke's, and sequel fans believe it's Rey's. We can't all be right, so let's find an answer to this. Let's find the answer to this. First of all, if you're new here, welcome. This is Star Wars in Real Life, where we talk about everything in real life that has to do with Star Wars, like games, events, theme lands like Star Wars Galaxy's Edge, and occasionally controversies, which is what we're doing today. Because a lot of people are upset about this question. People are fighting. It's affecting people's lives. So it's time we get to the bottom of this. I polled my audiences on YouTube and Instagram, got thousands of responses, and here are the results. 84% think this is Anakin's lightsaber, 5% think it's Rey's, 4% think it's Luke's, and everyone else thinks it's someone else. Someone else? Like who? Ben Teal on YouTube, for example, thinks the lightsaber belongs to General Grievous, and his comment is actually the most liked comment on this post. Giovanni Batuyang is colorblind and thinks this I just realized what this actually says. He thinks this is May's Windows. Luke Cave thinks it's Jar Jar's. Why not? Jamie Garcia 25 on Instagram says it's Obi-Wan's because he had it the longest. Okay. Blame 182 says it's my mom's.
I love democracy.
Alright, so anyways, let's focus on the most popular responses. Here are the reasons people think this is Anakin's lightsaber. 1, he found and bonded with the crystal inside of it. 2, he constructed the lightsaber himself. 3, he trained with and mastered this lightsaber the most. 4, he's defeated the most enemies with it. And 5, in A New Hope, when Luke asks Obi-Wan, what is this? Obi-Wan says, your father's lightsaber. Here are the reasons why people think it's Luke's. 1, he was the first person to use it on screen. 2, this lightsaber is his inheritance, passed down from his father. And lastly, here are the reasons for why it's Rey's. 1, she's the one who currently has it in her possession. 2, the lightsaber now calls to her. 3, Luke gave it to her. And 4, because Disney says so. Okay, so you see what I mean about everyone having different criteria for their answers? Which ones do you think are valid? Which factors should carry the most weight? Comment down below and tell us why. Now, what's interesting to me is that not a single person said that it's this person's because of the law. But someone did say this. It's Anakin's because you don't get to say something is yours just because you inherited it. And I was like, yes you do. That's literally what inheritance is. I was so shocked by that person's statement. Like, how could somebody possibly say something like that? Then I started second guessing myself. Wait, do I not know what inheritance means? So then I Googled inheritance and literally went down a 5.5-hour rabbit hole of legal research. Now, not only am I an expert on personal property law, but I have a legit, legally correct answer for whose lightsaber this is. Let me walk you through the facts, starting from the top. This lightsaber was created and used primarily by Anakin Skywalker during the prequel era. Anakin Skywalker was the original owner, the OO, the ooh. That's nothing. In episode 3, Revenge of the Sith, Anakin was seduced by the dark side. He ceased to be Anakin Skywalker and became Darth Vader. These are Obi-Wan's words from Return of the Jedi, and basically means that Anakin is now dead. Vader destroyed him.
Anakin Skywalker was weak. I destroyed him.
And here is the first tricky thing about this entire situation. As far as we know, Anakin didn't have a will. And when someone dies without a will, intestate law dictates that their personal property, the lightsaber in this case, goes first to their spouse, Padme. And not a single person suggested that this was Padme's lightsaber in the comments. First curveball, welcome to the video. But Vader's got it now. He's using Anakin's lightsaber. Legally speaking, he has no claim to this. He basically stole it, and that is larceny. So if I were Obi-Wan on Mustafar fighting Vader, a Sith Lord occupying the shell of Anakin Skywalker using his lightsaber, I would want to take that lightsaber back too. Not just for Padme, but out of respect for Anakin Anakin's memory, you know? But also for Padme. So I go, return the lightsaber to Padme, but she dies. Broken heart. You know how it is. So if there are no living spouses, intestate law now says that the lightsaber should go down to their descendants, Luke and Leia. And I didn't see a single person suggest that this was Leia's lightsaber either. Another curveball. Now it gets interesting. Here's another problem. Luke and Leia, they just babies. They're minors. They can't accept the lightsaber. Yet, the lightsaber has to be held by someone until the descendants are no longer minors. And this someone is called a guardian and should preferably be someone close to the family. And since Obi-Wan thought of Anakin as his brother,
"You were my brother, Anakin. I loved you."
he held onto the lightsaber while Anakin's stepbrother watched over Luke. Well, yeah, fast forward 19 years, Luke is no longer a minor. Obi-Wan casually hands Luke his inheritance. No need to thank me or anything. I just watched over you and safeguarded yours and your sister's inheritance for 19 years in the desert, mind you. You know what? If you want to thank me, just remember that this lightsaber is your life and just promise me that whatever you do, you will take good care of. Oh, god damn it! So yeah, that happened. Luke lost his arm and his lightsaber in Cloud City on Bespin. Lost is the key word here because this is where another piece of property law comes into play, titled lost, mislaid, or abandoned property. According to common law, property is lost if the owner inadvertently lets it out of his possession, which Luke certainly did. Now, when something is lost, and pay attention because this is a real thing and you'll probably come into this situation at some point in your life if you haven't already. Just in very simple terms, if you spot someone's wallet on the street, you have no obligation to pick it up. You can just keep on walking by. But if you do pick it up and you see the owner's information inside, your legal obligation is to return it to the owner. Otherwise, it's called larceny by finding, which is a crime. So please remember that. And they say it's Star Wars is for kids. So the rumor is that the lightsaber was found underneath Cloud City by some scavengers or smugglers or just someone totally random. Whoever the finder was, they probably had no idea who this lightsaber belonged to. It's not like a wallet where you can just open it up, take a look at the driver's license. So they couldn't return it even if they wanted to. So what happens now? In real life, some jurisdictions require finders to turn in their lost items. The jurisdiction would then make reasonable attempts of informing the owner that their property has been found, and they have a certain amount of time to claim it, usually 3 months. And if they don't claim it, then the lightsaber would be returned to the finder, and the finder would officially be the new owner, for real. And actually, this is where the phrases finders keepers and possession is 9/10 of the law come from. So we know that Luke didn't claim the lightsaber because somehow it ended up with Maz Kanata. Therefore, the finder became its owner. Whether that was Maz or a series of scavengers and smugglers before her, everyone that lightsaber was traded to after Bespin became its new owner, including Maz Kanata. And I did see some people say that this was Maz's lightsaber at some point, so props to you guys. Anyways, fast forward 31 years, we're in The Force Awakens. Maz witnesses her lightsaber calling to Rey, so she offers it to Rey. Here's another piece of property law, gifts. A gift is a voluntary transfer of property without consideration, without getting anything in return. There are 3 requirements for a gift to be legit: delivery, intent, and acceptance. Delivery is me handing you this lightsaber. Intent is me saying, this lightsaber calls to you, please take it. And acceptance is you taking it. Rey didn't take it when Maz tried to gift it to her. There was no acceptance, so there was no transfer of ownership. This was still Maz's lightsaber at this point. But then she gives it to Finn, and although I don't think this is confirmed, judging from the context of the situation, I think it's safe to assume that the reason she gave it to Finn was so that he could give it to Rey later and have him talk to Rey into accepting it, because Maz needs to stay behind and rebuild her castle. However, this doesn't mean that ownership was transferred to Finn either, because Maz's intent wasn't for Finn to keep it for himself. Instead, Finn was acting as a custodian. And I don't mean Finn was like a janitor or something like that, although he actually was a janitor.
What was your job when you were based here?
Sanitation.
Sanitation?
I mean custodian as in someone entrusted in safeguarding property and returning it to its owner once some contract has been fulfilled. Another legal term, right? So in other words, here, you take this, you give it to Rey. It's calling to her, and you need to convince her to take it. You understand? In the meantime, yes, you can use this as a weapon. Go kill some of your stormtrooper buddies. Fast forward, later that day, Finn, Rey, Kylo meet up in the forest. Rey gets knocked unconscious. Finn takes out the lightsaber. Kylo tries to steal it.
That lightsaber, it belongs to me.
larceny. Finn fights Kylo Ren. Loses. Lightsaber drops to the ground. Rey wakes up, picks it up. Acceptance. Uses it and defeats Kylo Ren. Rey owns this lightsaber. She knows it used to be Luke's, and Leia sends her on a mission to go find Luke, bring him back to help the Resistance. Better bring that lightsaber. She finds Luke, tries to gift it to him out of respect because it used to be his, it used to be his father's before him, but also as a token of goodwill so that he would come back and help the Resistance. And for 2 years, we waited and speculated as to what Luke was going to do with that lightsaber, and he tosses it off of a cliff. He accepts it, ownership. Luke's the owner now, but immediately tosses it over his shoulder off a cliff. A fucking cliff, and walks away. Abandonment. Another legal term. Rey goes, finds it. She's the new owner again. But Rey even offers it again to Luke. Luke refuses. Rey tried to transfer ownership, but there was no acceptance. Again, therefore it does not constitute as a gift, it's still hers. She's the last one to have it in The Last Jedi, and from what we've seen, still has it in the upcoming movie The Rise of Skywalker. And that is the most current official piece of canon that we have regarding the history and ownership of this lightsaber. In conclusion, Rey is the legal owner of this lightsaber. This is Rey's lightsaber. Boom! Sorry, but there you have it, an official, legally correct answer for whose lightsaber this is. Now, I know there are different ways of interpreting the question, whose lightsaber is this, but this is the only unbiased way that I know of for answering that question, and that's the answer I'm gonna stick to. It was Anakin's, it was Luke's, it was Padme's and Leia's and Maz's, but now it's Rey's. Simple as that. But you know what? If you still want to say that this is Anakin's lightsaber, that's fine. I get that. But you're wrong and I hate you. I'm just kidding. I just wanted to take a quick second to thank 3 new patrons that signed up last week, starting with Brendan Moon. The very first one, which is special because later on when I've got thousands of patrons, you know, you get to say that you were first. So props to you. And by the way, everybody, it's because of him that I'm gonna start doing Friday Favorites, a new video series released every Friday on this channel, summarizing my favorite Star Wars content from that week, like my favorite piece of news or favorite comment on one of my videos, favorite meme, Instagram photo, etc. So that should be fun. So everyone thank Brendan for that. Next, thank you Daniel Puente. The first person to take a seat in my director's chair gets access to all that behind the scenes stuff. So congrats, you get to see how silly and ridiculous my life is. And lastly, Draven Morn, my 3rd ever patron. And is Draven Morn your actual name? Because damn. If you guys want your own shoutouts or if you want special access to some top secret content, then check out my Patreon page. I'll put the links down below and take a look at all the dope stuff I've got to offer. If you want to support me, you can do so for as little as $1 a month, which is nothing. That's like buying me a coffee every 3 months. It's nothing, but it does help. So think about it. In the meantime, you will subscribe to my YouTube channel. We will keep on living Star Wars, and I will see you in the next video.